Shalom, my name is Yeshiah. I'm here to tell you all about Maccabees TV. That's all.
And remember to subscribe.
And remember to subscribe.
Maccabees TV, and once again, it's been a while. But once again, I got my brother Yeshiah in the building. What's good, King? How's everything?
Peace out. How you?
I'm good, man. Good to have you back on Maccabees. I know the people have been waiting to see another video from you. So let's get right down into it. December 17th, something is going down. Tell the people what you got going on December 17th.
First off, giving honor and praise to the Creator. December 17th, we're having a book signing in the camp Yeshiah, located at 297 Saratoga Avenue, between Dean and Pacific Street in Brooklyn, New York. If you want information concerning that, you can actually reach me at 908-587-4841. Starting at 9 p.m., food will be sold as well. And basically like a fundraiser type of thing / book signing. Now, the book that we're speaking of in regards to the book signing is this here, which is called Deuteronomy 28:15-68, The Condition of the Blacks, History Untold to the Masses. Now, I'm going to explain the title as I did explain the title in Egypt Talking Writing, and that's this. First off, it's a very controversial subject concerning Deuteronomy 28. There are different people saying that it applies to them, but yet they're not able to fulfill in their history all of the plagues or the curses that came upon those who broke the law, statutes, commandments, and folly. As we stated in the SOS event, went over the fact that many teachers like mine, may he rest in peace, were saying that what the Khazars or the so-called Jews had gone through was retribution for them trying to claim to be the people that broke the law of the Father. You understand? You don't mock the ignorance of the true house of Israel by saying, oh, we were the people of this land and so forth and so on, when history shows that you was not. So I just want that to be noted for edification purposes. The maternal side of the Israelites goes back to the Arameans, also called Syria in ancient times. And when you even look in the pictures of them, called the people of Kor by the ancient Egyptians, you will see how they look, like me and Daniela's complexion. You understand? The paternal line of the house of Yeshiah goes back to ancient Chaldea. And as I point out in this book right here, the Chaldeans were people of color. And so just wanted to sit there and let that be noted for edification purposes. Ezekiel 23 speaks about the origin of Israel being in Chaldea, the land of their nativity. That today is in modern southern Iraq. But the ancient people of that land are not the same people that you see in that land now. So I just want that to be noted for edification purposes. In 1902, they created the term called the Middle East. And by creating that terminology, they have sat there and then tried to divide what we understand as Asia, aka also the land of Africa. And by the Suez Canal being there, they can actually try to pump that idea. Meanwhile, you know good and well that the people from Cush and Mizraim or Egypt and the Sinai and the Israelites, as well as even the Canaanites prior to that, all migrated back and forth from land to land to land to land. Some in business, some in war. You understand? So to try to sit there and separate it in that particular aspect by a modern geographical location is historically inaccurate. I'm going to state that again. By trying to separate those lands by a modern geographical location is not historically accurate. And this is why you find people saying such and such looks Middle Eastern, yet there's no language called Middle Eastern. You understand? There's no culture called Middle Eastern. So that just wanted to be noted for edification purposes in that regard. So, for those, that's like an intro. For those who are interested and able to come to the event, which will be December 17th at Yeshiah, Saturday night at 9 p.m., there will be food sold as well as a brief PowerPoint presentation in regard to why we say Deuteronomy 28:68. He's speaking about us. Spoke about this at the SOS event. Spoke about this last time with the Mighty Hebrew. Peace to my brother. You understand? When we did a presentation in the park in Harlem, actually. And I read some of the comments on it, negating the profanity, because at that point, you realize you have nothing better to say. And negating the fact that, no offense intended, some of the naysayers, when you look at, just click on their picture or their name, and you see how many videos they have up, it's none. So that means perhaps that they are a troll hiding behind a name to try to sit there and just get their points off. Like, I hit you and then I duck, and then I hit you and then I duck, but you never see me. You understand? That's a very, that's what I may call the internet coward or the internet punk. You understand? To follow somebody else's videos, but then at the same token, you don't have any to offer of your own. But that's your world, and you got to look at whoever you are in the mirror. So, now, the other thing I want to explain and expound on is racist. IST, as I point out in this particular book right here, is it's a suffix. So you have a dentist, pianist, receptionist. So IST is a person who deals with a particular trade or art and something. So a racist is one who deals in race. So it's actually, to be quite candid, not a bad thing. We try to make it seem as if it's a bad thing, because a person may feel highly of his or own particular race, but it actually is actually not a bad thing. You know, once it comes down to that particular aspect. Me loving me and mine doesn't mean I directly hate you, but just like, and I'm gonna go there even as an Old Testament-based brother, when the brothers from One West went on, for what it was worth, all right, the Jerry Springer show, and they sat them there next to the KKK. Now, that was in 1996. I, at the time, was 16 years old, and when the show that went, pardon me, at 11 a.m., I was in high school. And a relative of mine actually recorded it, and that's how I was able to see it. And I said that they had the Israelites that came up out of Harlem, posted next to people from the KKK, and then had some white dude up there talking about, I was harassed by the Israelites. But I have a book called Without Sanctuaries that shows lynchings of black men and women and children by the KKK. So here's my point. Here's my point in this. You show the white dude who was supposedly harassed by the Israelites, but you can't show the black people who was harassed by the Klan. That's right. You hung him on a tree. You murdered him or her. That's why they can't speak. And so now, when we read in the scriptures, it says that he will smite the earth with the breath of his mouth. Speaking about when the servants of the Most High speak, is going to sit there and be like that which is will smite, slay, kill, destroy, slap up, clap up, if you will. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what it does. When we as Israelites speak, it's death to the other peoples. That's why they can associate us with the organization that they say is the opposite of us, that has actual murder cases against them. We don't have murder cases against us. You understand what I'm saying? So I just want that to be noted. But they associate what we're saying as if they're being slain by it, because you know what you've done. And speaking about that very briefly, if somebody hears a video or watches a video and think that it might be about them, it just may be. You know the truth of the matter. See, I'm not big into rap, but one thing that, for what it's worth, Eazy-E said about Dr. Dre is you can fool the people on the East Coast and the Midwest, but in LA you have not passed the test. So in light of that, you can sit there and have some brothers and sisters feeling and believing you in a certain light. But those who know the truth of the matter, those who know the conversations of a matter, know what the truth of the matter is. And that's what I have to say concerning that. Now, getting back in regards to this here, I want to sit there and read the table of contents of it. Introduction, all right. Then it says From Sumer to America, page 4 to page 59. Brief History of Israel, page 59 to 97. Now, in that chapter, I spoke mainly about ancient Israel from the time of like ancient Sumer, then going all the way down to where I fit in at. And what I mean by where I fit in at is the camp where I started, who the teacher there, how did the Shabbat service go, how did the teachings go, why we say, what we believe, and so forth and so on. So those are some of the points that I touch on in that particular aspect and in that chapter. So you can begin to see that this was an actual thing. This is not something that just sprung up due to YT or YouTube or due to Google Hangout or due to Facebook. We predate that. You understand? YouTube existed in 2005, Facebook in 2003. We predate that. Some of us have children with Hebrew names that's older than that. You understand? So just want that to be noted. Then we have the core of the book, which is Deuteronomy 28:15 to 68. Then I did a thing which I considered to be the most controversial chapter. And one of the things it says in the Apocrypha is make yourself acceptable in a congregation. You can't offend people and then expect to be understood by people. And in this chapter, I spoke on what I understand as the 12 tribe chart. I know most people won't disagree with what I'm saying. I know that already. But they already know when they buy this, no offense intended, but keeping it 100, oh, he's a Tanakh brother. So I already know when people buy it, they may say, well, take the meat, throw the bones. I know you're going to say that. I have a relative, my friend. Okay, not going to mention his name. He asked me not to on his channel, but he's what you call quote-unquote messianic. And he bought my book. And he said that's what he does. He'll take the meat and throw out the bones. And this is blood cousin. This ain't a fake cousin, like just by people from around. This is a blood cousin through, through an uncle. But anyway, getting back to the point of the matter of this. And that is the fact that in that chapter, I wanted to read a part of it in which I spoke on this matter right here. And that's this. It says, in quotes, the matter of the 12 tribe charts. One will notice in this chapter there are no shots taken at any camp, group, or congregation. Essentially, this is about the YouTube and Facebook congregants who just make cases to promote Africanism or portray themselves as Israelites for the sake of friends. So in other words, you can't sit there and despise the chart and then not sit there and give an answer on where you say that is. At least offer that. At least state why you stating Benjamin is scattered outside of just the West Indies. State the reasoning. People may feel it, people may not feel it. Now, no disrespect to the elder. I don't agree with Rudolph Windsor, okay? And I'm nowhere near, as the saying goes, able to tie his shoes. Where it says in his book, Babylon and Timbuktu, though I cite it quite frequently in this book here, that Ramses is the pharaoh of the Exodus. I don't agree with that, but that's the information that he had at the time. The groundwork, like the brother Hashar stated, is that if we know and understand to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, history is always going to be debated. You understand? An idea and a philosophy is always going to be debated. If we don't agree on who people are saying Melchizedek is, that's not going to get us slain. But you out there slaying your people may get you slain like the original 50 Cent. You understand? So just wanted to be noted for edification purposes. Now, I do not agree with the standard tribe chart that's out, nor do I agree with the whitewash part 4 video that's out. And I state my reasonings in such, in due respect. And I just want that to be noted. But one thing, not to play games or anything of that sort, that I know many Israelites will sit there and agree with, and that's this part right here. And I want to sit there and show this part where my index finger is here. You understand? This is part of the conclusion that I spoke of in the body of Deuteronomy 28:68. It is incumbent upon Israel to set the record straight. The matter of Deuteronomy 28:68 is not in regard to the Israelites and the Romans, right? The portion of Deuteronomy 28:68 is after verse 64, and thus the scattering happened prior to the Israelites being shipped. So I just want that to be highlighted, because if they was already shipped after they were scattered, then how you going to say that they was taken to what they call Hadrian's Market and they shipped from there? Then you're citing Munter, who also says that they basically never made it there because they had shipwreck, because you didn't think somebody was reading. You're citing Titus of 70 AD, and then you're trying to turn right around, you understand, and then talk about Hadrian. But Titus was assassinated in 81 AD, and Hadrian didn't come to power to 117 AD. So we're talking a little over between the death of one and the emperor aspect of another, a little over 50, 60 years. So we have to begin to see, know, and understand when people are just trying to hate. And in order for their doctrine to stand, be it Christianity, Islam, or kinetic science, or so forth and so on, they have to try to say that that verse is not talking about what we've been saying, being quote-unquote non-messianic or quote-unquote messianic. We've been saying the same thing about that verse since the 1960s and before. You understand? So in order to sit there and try to make their doctrine fit, they got to say it's not that, because then you got to enter Isaiah 43, where it says, bring my sons from afar, my daughters from the end of the earth. You can't answer that when the Most High said Israel's his sons and daughters in Deuteronomy 32:19. Because then your doctrine, your religion, your concept, your teaching, your ideology does not fit in the same book that you're walking with. So just want that to be pointed out for edification purposes. This here is the Ben Yehuda book. I use this when I teach in Shema.
I said that in my new video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said that you use that and I use that too. Yeah.
Good. And though not commonly used, I use this as well. This is like a 201 verb book. Gets into the different verbs and aspects and the formations of it, the passive, active, reflexive, and so forth. Now, why do I go there? And I'm gonna explain this because we did it in before with Mighty Hebrew with the book out. But I want to snap, if you will. Listen, man. It says in Jeremiah chapter 48, verse 10. And I want to read this. And I brought this book to you. Okay? And it says as follows. Now, I'm a Tanakh, what you call Old Testament base. But you know where I got this quote from? Don't know the guy's name, but it was having a debate between brothers who was teaching in Manhattan from One West, and Khalid Muhammad happened to walk by. You understand? And he said something, which the video didn't catch, I think. And they went back and forth, back and forth. You understand? And so one of the brothers asked his Akor, I don't know their names, don't mind me. Pardon me. This is also, I couldn't find out, dated to 94. I'm 14 at the time. You understand? But one of the things that he asked the guy to read is this portion here, and it stuck with me. It says, cursed be he who does the work of the Most High deceitfully. If you have knowledge on the subject, and you're sitting up there trying to use it to offend, disrespect, belittle, it's not going to prosper. You're going to stay just on that Facebook group and get your LOL and get your little smiley face and get your little jokes off, but you have not enlightened nobody. Now, there's people knowing good and well that they may have gotten an idea or teaching a concept, an ideology, or truth of a matter from a brother or a sister, even if they don't want to give that human being any props. Okay, glory goes to the King and the Most High anyway. You understand? So, the point getting back to the matter is this. If you have knowledge on something, the worst thing to do is to try to belittle somebody. The worst thing to do is to try to show somebody up. What you're supposed to do is help your brother, help your sister. That's what you're supposed to do. So, I recently had a discussion and somebody decided to take some brothers from GOCC camp and put their picture up there and snap on it. And I'm like, would you probably even do that to these people in their face? And if not, you're not taking this word that you're saying that you understand serious. Well, you know, it's just made for humor. Brother, sister, no offense. The name I chose, and it's not to be haughty, kashu, it means important. It comes from the root word kashab, which means to think. So I don't do things not to be haughty for laughs and jokes. The elders in Shema Yisrael asked me back in February of this year to assist in teaching with the Hebrew. Blessed be the Father, since March to now, we're still doing it. I don't come from working at the plantation to go all the way out there to Brooklyn, to travel home all the way to the Bronx for a joke. People got children, families, jobs. Some of us have wives. We ain't got no time for the LOL and the games. You can keep that to yourself. You understand? We're trying to sit there and not to be haughty, put works out, put things out for meaning purposes. Now, hopefully this part won't be edited. I had a conversation with my friend, Brother Priest Danya, on and offline. And I try my best as a friend to encourage people to keep on doing what you're doing. Put these publications out, put these books out. You understand? And some people may think because, well, oh, you separating yourself from the debate circuit, you know, you may think you're uppity or anything of that sort. No, it's just that the debate circuit winded up producing not much. Now, if you happen to come into knowledge through this, so be it. You understand? But when you know your calling and it's time to leave a particular aspect, then so be it. You don't drop the ball, you just change the court. You understand? And so that's what I mean as far as it goes down in that particular aspect. Now, I'm going to jump the gun and speak about, though a date hasn't been set yet, the brother Daniel is coming with a book signing as well as the brother Hasham. You understand? And they're going to be doing, you know, their thing. I encourage people to go and patronize. I'm not going to participate in that because, no offense, I have a book out already. It's better to let the brothers who's coming out with it to drop theirs, shine, and then we all show brotherhood at the end. That I think is a hell of a lot wiser, to be quite candid, as opposed to, you know what I mean? I already have a book. I already spoke about my book. People already patronized my book. I thank you for that, brothers and sisters and elders included. And then when brothers are coming out with their first book to the people, I'm going to sit there with my second. I had a deep conversation before I spoke with my friend Danielle about this, with my baby sister. And she's like, well, do you think that's fair? And it hit me. And I was like, nah, that's really what we may call, when you look at it, an unbalanced weight. Here you are with two, brothers coming out with just their one. Don't do that to your brother. Let them shine, because they're helping you shine, posting you on the station. That's why, on the down low, why I said, let me just separate from that aspect, but still attend the event. So that's let it be known for edification purposes. So in concluding, all right, you can be reached at hkashub@yahoo.com. HKASHUB@yahoo.com. Email. And this book here is available on Amazon as well as Create Space. Now, when you go on Amazon, believe it or not, and type in Black Hebrew Israelite books, you see my book on there. Believe it or not. I was scrolled, I was like, oh, Amazon got it on there like that. And by the way, it's $20. All right? So I just want that to be noted. The other book and aspect, this here, as we went over before, Egypt Talking Writing, is $16.50. All right? It is not $103 or $50-something like I saw. You can get it also on PayPal. The email to reach me on PayPal is hkashub@yahoo.com. I'm not going out like polite. People will not say, Yeshiah, where's my book at? To the people that got the book late, I do apologize, but you can rest assured I kept contact. It's on its way. Something happened today. I didn't get into it. I screenshot the tracking number so it can all be kept in business. Because the last thing, and I know people might be like, oh, it's because this brother don't believe in such and such, he's a scammer. No, we ain't going out like that. So just want that to be noted. Now, this event coming up December 17th, selling this here as a promotion. We get both books for $30. So you save you save $6.50 plus tax. Now, when you order it through PayPal, all right, want it to be noted and understood, okay, for the remainder of 2016, which will be in the last month now, I'm sending both books by mail to anyone who orders it for only $30, all right, and it's straight $30. It's not like you got to add tax and shipping and handling if you do it through the PayPal way, and I sign it. My baby sister, and I say the sister helped me get these out, my baby one. Shout out to she. Just please love. And I'm gonna say it like this, man. Our great grandparents, sweetheart, talking to my sister, my baby one, and the other sisters out there. Our great grandparents who went through a hell of a lot more stuff than sisters today ain't wearing no pants. That's what it is. They didn't wear pants. You're not going to show a picture of great-great-grandma if you got it, and she wearing pants. So women should not be wearing it. And so all this cold or this is that, the winters in the 60s was a hell of a lot deeper than now. It's just an excuse. And they know what they're doing in the market by promoting the sisters with the pants. They know what they're doing with that. You understand? So that's a whole nother thing, but I'm saying it to my sister and other sisters. Our great-grandmothers, 9.75 out of 10 times would not be seen with a pair of pants on. And then you know what they kind of stuff they went through in their day, 20s, the early 10s, and everything like that. But anyway, my point getting back into this and concluding this matter. All right? For the rest of this year, on my PayPal, once again, the email to reach me on the PayPal is hkashub@yahoo.com. If you send the money, all right, through goods and services, I refund it back. Please only send it through friends and family so it clears in the account earlier. All right, for that reason and that purpose with that. All right, also at the event in Shema, both will be sold for $30 as a promotion. If you get it on Amazon, I appreciate the patronage, but it's between you and them at that point. All right, so with that, I say thank you for the time. Glory to the King, Yah Elohim. And my numbers, again, is 908-587-4841. Peace.
And also, before you go, shout out your YouTube channel. Just make sure they subscribe. That's very important.
My YouTube channel, okay, I started a new one called Kashub Danite, spelled as KASHUBDANITE. 2 different words. Kashub Danite. Subscribe to it. There's videos on it. One of the first intro videos I put on there is the Black Woman God? And my question that, no offense intended, has not been answered. If you're saying that the black woman is God, you then have to answer, what is the role of the black man? By saying she's God, you're saying that you don't have to be responsible and a protector and a provider for her. She takes care of everything. That's how you know some men are so broken in the so-called conscious community. But anyway, just wanted to point that out with that. So it's Kashub Danite, KASHUBDANITE. Subscribe to that channel. All right, thank you. Peace.